It's Tuesday, August 18th.
To discuss in more detail as the negotiations go forward, and I think that's the best forum.
Down to the wire. There are just hours left now to reach a trade deal before a new round of U.S. tariffs is slapped on a number of Canadian products.
We are finally turning the page on one of the darkest chapters in our past.
Tentative agreement. Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador and the federal government have reached an agreement on energy worth billions of dollars, but could Quebec's upcoming provincial election affect the future of this deal?
I won't say this helps with their grieving, but it puts them into a different stage of that.
Moving forward, demolition begins at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School in BC, the site of one of Canada's deadliest mass shootings.
The incidence seems to be increasing, which is why there's concerns.
Fighting misinformation. Doctors are warning about a trend among new parents refusing safe and effective vitamin K injections for their newborns. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm Teddy Wilson.
Great to have you, Teddy. I'm Kelsey McEwen. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for starting your day off with us.
Yes, indeed. Hope you're having a good start to your morning, and we're going to turn right to the news we're following for you now. We begin with trade because it is down to the wire for trade talks between Canada and the United States, with just hours left to reach a deal to avoid another round of U.S. tariffs.
We're going to continue working. Our job is not yet done.
Thank you. How do you feel it's going, Minister?
Prime Minister Carney and U.S. President Trump spoke yesterday afternoon about the ongoing trade negotiations, but there is no word on whether the two sides are any closer to a deal. Canadian and American trade representatives took negotiations yesterday to the office of U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Lowering tariffs on the steel, aluminum, auto, and lumber sectors have been key demands by Canada. If no deal is reached, the new tariffs will come into effect just after midnight on Wednesday. The new 50% tariffs would be on a variety of goods and could impact up to $28 billion worth of Canadian exports to the U.S. Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador have reached a tentative energy agreement, but a final deal is not expected until the end of the year, after Quebec's provincial election.
What do they offer to Quebecers if it's not this agreement? Where will they find the 10,000 megawatts we are bringing to Quebec with that agreement?
An election must be held by October 5th. The Parti Québécois, who currently lead the polls ahead of this fall's election, have previously promised they'd reopen energy negotiations. The deal between Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Ottawa includes an expansion of the Churchill Falls power plant, new power lines into Labrador West, a new development on the Churchill River, a rebate for Newfoundland and Labrador, and a feasibility study for a wind development. The total new spend on the deal could reach $70 billion, with Ottawa spending $10 billion. Most of the rest will be paid by Hydro-Quebec. The federal government says this is the biggest clean energy project in North American history. Demolition is now underway at the site of one of Canada's deadliest mass shootings.
In a way, it feels like it's been a long time in coming. On the other hand, it's only been 6 months since this tragedy.
Crews have started to tear down Tumbler Ridge Secondary School in northern British Columbia. 5 children and 1 education assistant were killed at the school earlier this year. The 18-year-old shooter also died inside the school after killing 2 family members at home before carrying out the attack. Once the building is fully removed, the school site will be restored to grass, and discarded building materials will be taken to landfills outside the community. The demolition will be carried out in phases. BC Premier David Eby announced in May that a replacement school would be built in the community, quote, as quickly as possible. Well, the search continues for a missing pilot in Ontario after his aircraft was found in the Kawartha Lakes region. 73-year-old David Douglas was last seen early Friday morning when he took off from Oshawa Airport. He was flying a small blue and yellow single-seat home-built plane. Debris from the missing plane was found yesterday in Queen Elizabeth II Wildlands Provincial Park, about 45 minutes north of Balsam Lake. But Douglas is still missing. The Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Trenton found the plane and say the case is now with the OPP as a missing persons case. A few details are starting to emerge now into the death of actress Hayden Penitent. No official cause of death has been released, but police are now revealing emergency personnel responded to a 911 call for a reported cardiac arrest at an apartment in South Carolina. The coroner's office says medical personnel found Penitent in cardiac arrest and tried to resuscitate her, but the efforts were unsuccessful. She was pronounced dead about a half hour after the 911 call was made. An autopsy performed Monday revealed no signs of trauma that would have contributed to her death. Doctors are warning about the spread of misinformation surrounding an essential vitamin for newborn babies.
This is a well-established, much-needed, very routine biomedical procedure.
More parents are refusing an injection of vitamin K for their newborns at birth. It's been a common practice in Canada since the early 1960s. It helps with blood clotting to prevent brain bleeds. Babies are born with a vitamin K deficiency, and the shot is meant to prevent a rare but potentially life-threatening condition known as vitamin K deficiency bleeding. It can also lead to long-term brain damage. Those opposed to the shot list a number of reasons why, including concerns about ingredients, preservatives, and debunked links to leukemia. It's not clear how many Canadian parents are declining the shots, but a new study from Sweden shows the refusal rate more than doubled from 2006 to 2021. Ontario's government says failing to build data centers in the province risks Canadians' data being sent to the United States.
It ends up on an American server, it will be subject to American law, subject to American surveillance, could be subject to Americans deciding we no longer have access to it. We live in a fraught political landscape right now.
Speaking at the Association of Municipalities of Ontario in Ottawa Monday, Ontario Premier Doug Ford said the centres are key to keeping our information sovereign. Despite the controversy around data centres, Ford says he wants more of them to be built here. Oakville has imposed a one-year halt to new data centers, and Mississauga is looking at something similar next month. Ontario recently launched a new framework called the Data Center Playbook to create rules for them in the province. Under it, large data centers would be subject to a new electricity rate class, which would result in them facing higher bills than other industrial energy users. They'd also have to minimize environmental impacts. All right, well, this car just rolled off the auction block for a record price. Ferrari's first ever electric car has fetched $40 million US in a charity sale. That sets a record for a new vehicle sold at auction. The sale raised more than 35 times the usual price of the car at the event at RM Sotheby's in California. All proceeds of the sale will be donated to the Ferrari Foundation's educational programs.